blood types can be, or separate individuals can be born into the same body. And never, and of course, being that we know about the hermaphrodites of the Hyperborean age, it seems very practical that what's happening here, as far as I'm concerned, is a new race is being born here on Earth of these Chimeras. Again, which is coming. Well, let me finish. Okay, let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
What usually happens, as I've been watching the history of Earth, is what happens is everything is in cycles. What comes around goes around. So whatever starts will eventually come back to the beginning again of where it originally started. So what I'm seeing is a new age already being born in this time and day, and God only knows it, going apparently back during the Greek mythology. These people were there as well. But to me, it's a recessive gene. Today you're seeing people being born with the recessive gene of giants. We see recessive genes being born of the little people. Various types of recessive genes are starting to show up again, as well as the recessive gene of the people of the Hyperborean age, which to me shows me that in the future it is very, very likely that two people can be born in one body, share that same body. Okay, but what I'm getting at, okay, bottom line is, if this is true, what she says, based on the fact that she's saying that physically they came back here 30 years ago from the future, a person should be able, by rights, to do a DNA testing of her and Richard and verify what she has to say.
Well, that would be interesting.
Well, it would be.
But the only trouble is, she says 30. It was 3,038 years ago.
Well, I'm just telling you what.
Well, she sure got it mixed up. I tell you, I was riding with my I know what was going on. But you have 1,000 years of peace with Christ, and then you have a season with Lucifer pulled out of the pit. Now, what a season is, nobody really knows. But if a day is like 1,000 years to God, how long is a season, day-wise? So, I don't know. But anyway, this occurred 3,038 years ago. And frankly, there is nobody, to my knowledge at all, who have learned the Borgdom that I saw that is so technically advanced that can do this in 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sorry, Willow, if you're listening, boy, you're way off in the time, or you're psychic, or whatever it is. But nevertheless, anyway, by the way, on your theme, on your show that you, Serendipity, or whatever you call it, 2 nights ago, I was watching Medical Mysteries or Medical Miracles.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, some guy had, I don't know, he ended up in the hospital and they had to operate. And the doctors were just flabbergasted. This was an all-male man who acted like an all-male man, never any wimpiness to him or whatnot. And he's born with a uterus and ovaries inside.
Mm-hmm.
And just blew him away. The first case that they'd ever heard of.
Well, we've actually found, too, that science has also discovered that an egg can fertilize its own self, although it usually doesn't get to full term.
Now,
Esoterica writes in, and she says the chimeras usually have 2 personalities, one normal and one recessive, and the conflict between them causes outbursts, hence the dragon reference, which we find in mythology.
That would sound logical, but it really would, too. When they split and came back, one has a real bad problem. I won't say what it is. It's private. The other, far less so. Her problem is the one with the problem, and there's really not much I can do about it. It's just in the genes, in a sense. But nevertheless, it does exist. The dominant personality has the problem.
Well, in this case, they're dominant. They split.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not talking.
The dominant personality still has the problem that dominated the two then.
Well, we don't know how they split. We don't know if they split sharing the same, with, I would think, by the way she described it, the chimera, okay, being that it was male and female living in the same body, when they split, the male went, that was developed and the female was developed.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be, the dominant was probably the male, the less dominant, the female.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say one way or the other. Like I say, there's a real problem with the dominant.
Or they're sharing both.
No, not as individuals. But nevertheless, they...
Well, if you don't tell us what's the thing is, you just said something, but if you don't tell us what this problem is with her gene, then we can't figure it out.
It's anybody's business. It's between me, them, and God.
Well, then it shouldn't have been brought up because we need to know. We need to know this because she brought. The thing is, she brought this out to the public. Okay, to say this is who I am, but then when we ask questions of who she is, they say, okay, well that's none of our business. Well, that's not right.
I didn't listen to the show, and I'm not going to confide openly with everybody. So it's not. It's just like asking a pastor or a lawyer. Give us all your information. I'm sorry.
Well, if you're talking about her alcoholic gene, then she told us about that.
She hasn't got that problem, and neither does the other, for that matter. Now.
Well, she told us she did.
Because the alcoholic problem then was brought on because as one, and both individual as one, they were born with the inborn knowledge there was God. But it was so deeply covered over through this dang Borgism that they couldn't bring it forth. And that's why God is trying to break forth that Borgism at that time period, so that it can be brought forth. Because He's going to clean the earth. He's going to get rid of the real bad arses and the ones that are just all for self, including them and everybody from the beginning.
Well, I'm not saying she's bad or anything. I'm still, talking about, the fact is that, that there was such, we were basically, when we first started out, during the Hyperborean age, we were of that type. Two people in one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But anyway, it's over. She got her story out, but she's way off on her date. 30 years is a joke. Heck, 30 years, you aren't going to see any machinery except what's hidden in the tunnel.
Well, no, I said that she's been back here in this present 30 years.
Okay.
But she's talking about, she's probably 2,400, something, I can't exactly remember the exact date she said, but it's like approximately 2,400 years into, him and her came from approximately 2,400 years into the future.
And my memory still says 3,028 years, but I might be off too. But I was misunderstanding then, because I knew it sure in the heck wasn't 30 years. No way will technology be available for what's going on then. But we will, after our 30, 40 years of vast shock, start getting back in one with the Creator. We will start getting back similar to Adam and Eve's time.
Yeah. Well, what we need...
everything.
Yeah, well, what we...
Hold on, Mary. Yeah. In time, we'll slide back to what we are today and far beyond.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt about it. It's a cycle. If a person studies cycles, they can see that it's a repetition. It starts, it goes through its actions, it ends, it starts again. It's like a person breathing. You breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in. The night comes and is replaced with the sun, over and over again. But going back to being that the show's on Willow, I would think that Willow, if Willow and Richard are a true case of time travelers, that it would be wonderful, for science, to be able to meet with these people and be able to do this DNA testing and this blood testing on these people, because it really is, that's evidence. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we're all looking for today, is evidence of all these possibilities that have been presented to us. Otherwise, it's just talk. It makes for a great story. But that's about it.
I haven't got the money.
Well, if she's listening, and Richard is listening to the show tonight, which I'm sure they're going to be, I'm suggesting to them to get a hold of some experts that in DNA testing and get themselves DNA tested so that they can actually, and blood tested, so that they can actually prove this story, and then they've really got something.
Yeah, and they'll verify what I was saying too.
Yeah.
But, that's something that hopefully can be carried out.
Well, what I'm going to do, folks, is like I said, I watched that show on TLC and I saved it. So what I'll do is I'll take my digital and I'll actually take a picture of some of the pictures that they had shown on TV of these chimeras, and you can see what I'm talking about. But it's a fascinating topic, something up until the other day I didn't have a clue about.
Mary, there's an interesting question that we all heard. What comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
And the fact is, it was the chicken, a mother chicken with an egg inside, and the egg, once it came out, it was a rooster.
Yeah, but where did the mother chicken come from?
God.
Oh.
It's as simple as that.
Well, where did God come from?
God came from the great void. I've already explained that to you.
Who created the great void?
There was always nothing.
You see, it's an endless mystery,
No, well, yeah, in a sense it is. It is just nothing.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about for the people with more of the scientific minds, that are asking these questions, that are trying to do the research, trying to show the evidence, it's just,
Well, it's like our Big Bang theory, understand. There's no Big Bang. It's just God thinking. You're thinking, do you hear a bang rattling around up there in your brain? Nah, that's just man trying to figure out how it all happened and come up with some theory, and now they're running around saying it's a fact. And 15 years from now, you won't hear the word theory anymore.
Well, this is where discerning the spirit comes in, and that's me. Boy, I'm very discerning. I ask questions, ask, show me, because that's what people do to me. I put these shows up, I put these websites up, I got people that write to me and say, sounds good, but give me the facts. Okay, where's the evidence? And so, and I try to, that's what my purpose is to find the, to get shows like this and then be able to prove them out to people, so that it's not a fairy tale or a mythology, and if so now we know that the chimeras actually come from Greek mythology. So maybe with this Greek mythology creature, maybe there was something to it, What? I don't know yet, but trust me, I'm going to research
like
this
all the
out.
different tales of creation throughout the world, including the nations of various Indian people within North and South America. All nations seem to have their own separate tales, but it all boils down to one. Once you break through all the hoopla of it,
Yeah.
and, it all boils down to one.
Yeah.
So it's rather interesting. And by the way, the chicken and the egg, why do we call Mother Earth Mother? instead of Father Earth. You know, we came out of Mother. You know, we are the offspring of the Earth in a sense. So, it just life goes on. You know, just a cycle of